Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to your yearly oracle reading. This time around, I'm using specific cards related to goddesses and angels. So it's going to be a little bit of a girly reading, but for the men listening, there's also a message for you in here. So don't be scared because in every moment and phase in our life, different people that we meet we bring out both the masculine and the feminine, okay? So even though I use goddess cards, there is something for you here, okay? So the different decks I'm using, the first main energy that you have, the first top card, that's from the Soulful Woman Oracle deck. The second three in the middle row, that's from Doreen Virtue's Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. And the last three are from Healing with the Angels. So, really interesting energies here. A lot of the signs they had, uh, really strong links between the cards. Like if there was one area of their life, like career or love, it came out in the cards. You have a well-rounded type of spread here. I'm trying to see if there's a major focus, but I feel like your life this year there will be balance in all areas. That's what I'm getting. Okay. But the one thing that's standing out is cycles and rhythms, okay, and transformation. So I do see there is going to be an ending to like it could be situations in your life, but for some of you, it could be something specific, like a change of job. It could be a relationship, anything at all. But it's a major shift that's happening, and it's happening for many of the signs. I'm seeing a completion of a cycle for many of you. So here it is. Before we get specifically into the rest of the cards, let's look at the main energy. So your main energy this year is appreciation, okay, gratefulness. It says here, appreciating the good that exists in the here and now, expand awareness to all that is good in the universe. Okay, so for those of you, I feel right away that have been a little anxious, of the unknown, you're a bit stressed about that. This is a guidance card for you that's saying, take it step by step, even though you might not know the outcome, at least take that first step, okay, with whatever it is that you're doing. Don't have any fear. And by appreciating daily and seeing what you have daily all around you, okay, when you wake up, you're like, okay, wow, the sun is shining. I have the whole day to do, it's a whole day of possibilities. I could start my week early, anything like that. You have control what you do throughout your day. And it's telling you just be grateful and appreciate everything beautiful around you, like that friend you talk to on a daily basis, or the food that you get on your table every day, or the fresh air that you breathe in your country, or anything at all of what's around you, your family, anything. So, this has to do with the small things, okay? The small things are actually greater than we think. So, this is also saying find things in your own life that, you really appreciate, because I know for many of us, we tend to look outward, okay? We tend to compare other people's lives to our life, but those other people, they see your life and they might want something of your life or something of the way you look like, okay? They might like your hair, they might like your eyes, your body shape, and you're here thinking, oh, I wish I had what they had. Okay, so this is saying to be aware of that, okay, in order to gain appreciation, gain more awareness first of, that everyone's going through their own obstacles, everyone has their own journey, their own path, all right? And reduce your fear, okay? Don't compare yourself, and judge yourself or even judge others based on how they're living your life, or, don't even accept judgment from others with how you're living your life, okay? Because your path is going to be totally different. And it's hard nowadays because with all this social media, this Facebook and, Instagram, people they take pictures of what they want you to see. They're not going to take something like, I don't know, some people might do it of like crying hysterically or, I don't know, just something really crazy. Some people do it. They like to put the reality out there, which is like it's a strength, right? But the most part, you'll see the glamour, the big illusion. They'll go on a vacation like once a year and maybe go the next year, and that's all they have in their Instagram, and then that's all you see that their life is about, right? But you never know what that person's going through on a daily basis. Okay. So this is a card really saying don't compare yourself to others. You're on your own path. Trust me, there is good and bad in everybody's life. Even if it might seem perfect on the outside, they're struggling with something. Okay. So it's just about, focus on self and see how you could become a better person every day and trying your best every day with whatever it is you want to go after. Focus on your passions, your dreams, create a gratitude journal. Okay, so I spend a lot of time on this card, but I really feel, appreciation, even though it sounds really simple, it's a really hard thing to do because we're constantly, that thing in our head, that ego is coming in saying, you're not good enough, you need something else, that desire, you want this, go buy it. Okay, but you don't need it. So again, just really be grateful of, whatever it is that you have on a daily basis, your skills, your resources, the people around you that could help you, and just say thank you. And, and you could write it down if you're having a hard time. Just point out all the good things that happen throughout the day. And then, you go to bed with a sense of lightness. All right. So let's move on down to the other cards here. You have your first goddess here. Some of these are really hard to pronounce. Her name is Maeve. Okay, so I did say that right, I think. And she rules cycles and rhythms. She's the goddess of the moon. Okay, so it's saying honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So this again, it's a card that's saying she's a Celtic goddess, by the way. She's saying to honor your intuition, pay attention to your intuitive brain, I'll call it, because it has a message for you, okay? And you're on the right path, even though you might not be the same with others. You are on your own path to transformation, all right? So this is saying, you don't have to feel pressure to do anything. Pay attention to your own body's cycles and rhythms. If you're, feeling a little lazy one day, okay, pay attention to that. If you feel energized one other day, you're filled with vitality, you're energized, you get work done. Okay, so don't put yourself down. Follow whatever it is that your body feels like doing, okay? Of course, sometimes there's going to be resistance when we have to do projects or get our goals done, or there's that like little child inside of us that wants to rebel. But, you'll know when that comes up, when you're like, oh, I really need to do this. I have to get this done. But it's like the resistance is there and you start focusing on doing other things. But there are just some days where you really don't feel like it. Well, that's what this goddess is telling you, is pay attention to those cycles that come in. Okay. For some of you, it's saying to pay attention to the moon cycles. Okay. For those of you, especially dealing with the healing arts, I feel a lot of you have strong manifestation abilities, strong powers. So it's saying follow the moon cycles. When there's a new moon, that's a time to plant new energy, new seeds, even starting projects. Okay. When there's a waning moon, it's great to cut back on something toxic or let go of bad habits like smoking. Okay. Or anything that you're doing in excess of. If you want to quit, maybe starting a diet, it's great to do that on a waning moon. All right. Full moon, there's not, there is some things you could do with that, but most of the time it's bringing up what we feel under the surface, and it takes care of matters that we haven't even dealt with. So there's cycles happening here. This goddess also rules, your menstruation, your the cycles of the women's hormones. Okay, for those of you that have been feeling off emotionally, This is saying to go to speak to some advisor that has to do with, a gynecologist, or even counselors, and then whatever it is that you're experiencing, maybe they could recommend you to someone, maybe not. But this is coming up that's saying if you've been feeling a little off with your emotions, maybe there's something hormonal there. So pay attention to that. This isn't for everyone, it's just for like maybe one or two listening, but there might be something there for you to learn. Okay, so make sure you get a bit of a health check there. All right, but overall, cycles and rhythm. This is about old doors closing, new ones opening. Okay, so whether again it's a relationship or job. Okay, here we go. So let's see here. So she's great actually, especially if you're giving birth. She's great to pray upon for healing any suffering or pains. Okay, so she's the goddess of the moon and the women's emotions. So you can pray to her if you like. So butterfly maiden here, transformation, beautiful card. So again, you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So she is a Native American goddess, okay, and she deals with, she makes sure that there's healthy growing crops, okay, and she's also the goddess to help you get out of that cocoon stuck kind of phase towards moving into the next level of your life, okay. So some of you might be feeling a little bit stuck. You don't know where to move forward, which direction. Maybe I'm getting crossroads with some of you too. Not sure which way to go. Okay, and again, cycles and rhythms is telling you pay attention to your intuition. What do you feel like doing? Don't do something because it's society's expectations or your parents or your teachers or anything like that. Really focus on the inner self and make a decision based on that. Okay, and there's a lot of support here. You have a lot of friends around you. I feel like a lot of chatter going on, maybe giving you advice. For some of you, it's like naysayers. So steer clear of that. Make sure right underneath you get some alone time, meditation. So that's coming up. So for those of you who have the naysayers and too much chatter in your ear and it's causing more confusion, this is saying to get a moment of silence, find some sort of retreat area, make your space beautiful in order for you to go meditate and reflect. Because when you invite silence in, that's where your spirit guides and your angels, they could come through and talk to you. Okay, so sometimes you gotta, just close the TV, close your phone. You just need to even, like music could help sometimes, but I mean, true, pure silence really does the trick, and just a piece of paper and a pen, honestly. So really take time to focus on where do you want to go next and start writing it down, how you want to grow, all right? Especially in your work environment. Maybe you feel a little stagnant. Write down how you'd like to grow in this year, what you'd like to try next, and maybe you could present that to your superiors or anything like that. Um, for a lot of you, you might get a certain windfall of money coming in. Okay, so definitely transformation is in here. I'm getting some of you, not to scare you or anything, and it might not apply to all of you, but some people might get laid off, not fired. I mean, and if you do get fired, trust me, it's the universe's way of saying you're meant to do something greater, and that's at least matching your own authentic self. So don't be afraid of, getting fired. People, it's like a stigma. It's not. I always say congratulations, actually, to people who get fired. Because I'm like, all right, now what are you going to do next? This is exciting. So you might get a windfall of money there, maybe like a severance. You could even be getting a promotion. So some of you could be rising up in your field. So from regular staff to, supervisor to manager, manager to some sort of director, and who knows, maybe director to CEO. That might be a big jump, but I'm not sure what's in between there. So, um, you know, the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. So this is what it's saying. Be open to receiving. Okay, so all you have to do is, you got it again, appreciation. Just say thank you to the universe because it's pouring out its abundance to you. So you might get a bit of a windfall here of money. Okay, so some of you maybe are waiting for it. Some of you, you'll get it out of, a little surprise there. And she's a Roman goddess here. Her name is okay, this is a hard one. Abundantia. Gosh, that's a hard one. So she rules all prosperity and the way you manifest your abundance. So you could pray to her to help you receive, you know, um, more prosperity or abundance towards some situation that that's really deep in your heart, or find ways, at least find creative ways to increase abundance. Okay, so sometimes it's not like the money's going to fall off trees, but you could pray to for universe or spirit to help guide you in ways to give you inspiration to get new ideas and new creative tools in order to build your abundance, or maybe an idea for a new business or project or anything like that. So I feel like whatever you're in, whatever you're doing, money will be flowing. Okay. So for some of you, this closing of the door and transformation, it's leading you into a abundant future. So some of you might be even finding your dream job, and it's not even like it could be getting paid less, but you have more freedom. Like, that's like something beautiful. So prosperity doesn't have to be money. It could come in different forms. It could come through the forms of ideas. You could be looking for someone maybe to help you even raise your kids, and like somebody comes out of the blue. So it's a help from the universe that just makes your life a little bit easier. So, don't be like, hey, where's my money? Because it could come in like such many different forms. All right. So you got the balance card, and this is saying again, because this is tying in. So a lot of closing chapters. The sphere here represents a completion of some situation. Okay, and that ties in with the cycles and rhythm card. But it's saying to look at each area of your life, whether that's relationships, health, spirituality, finances, and see which area is lacking. Okay, so I feel like for some of you, you might be focusing too much on work, for example, and maybe you've neglected the love and family and relationships, or maybe, you know, you haven't been focused too much on work and it's the opposite. So it's saying, balance your life a little, because that will bring more joy into your world. Okay. Moderation is key here. Okay. Especially if you've been overeating. This is saying cut back a little, smaller portions. So look at your health, see which area it is that you need some guidance on. All right. So some of you, I might feel a little confused during this year. And it is, it's suggested if you need to reach out to a counselor, any advisor, maybe even spiritual advisor, that would help a lot, because sometimes things are just caught up in our heads. And when we listen, when we, speak our truth out loud or our feelings out loud, we start to come up with different ideas just by having someone listen to us. Or we might realize, hey, you know what? This doesn't seem like a big deal. I don't know why I was stressing about it. Plus, somebody else could offer you, advice or a suggestion that you haven't even thought about and you didn't realize it's possible. Okay. So I've done that in the past as well. And trust me, everyone could use, oh, wow. Sorry about that. That was just a phone there. I'm just going to close it real quick. My apologies. So, yeah, I mean, and make sure it's someone you don't know, because it's easier to speak like to someone you don't know, or at least speak to a friend that you trust. Because most people, what they do, because they get scared of your success or anything like that. It could be close family or friend. Sometimes people are scared. They don't want to lose you, right? So they might give you advice or their opinion based on, something that benefits them too. I know that sounds really bad, but it is what it is. Okay. So sometimes you just need to speak to someone that, doesn't really know you that well. It's just, I'm not sure how it works like that, but it just does. So it's really interesting, or at least someone that you trust, and they really have your interests at heart. Okay, so let's see here what else. Yeah, and some of you, this money that's going to come in, it's really going to give you a peace of mind, something that you've been praying for. It will manifest, okay? Because you have the Serenity card here. So this is all about, it's like a relief. It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, okay? So some of you might even be going through some court situation where you receive your fair share of something, or maybe some sort of contract. But it is a relief that's going on here. Okay. Um, Health is really good. So I see you, really balancing out there, taking your time to reflect, to meditate, to see how you want to move forward. And make sure you're around nature at this time, especially, water. That's going to cleanse your energy, especially if you've been detoxing, emotional, uh, anything physical, exercising. Make sure you're doing that because that's going to detox everything from inside you, even old emotions that you've been carrying, any old baggage from previous relationships. Okay, so a lot of peaceful things coming in, a lot more peace of mind. So, something that has been draining your energy, I do feel you're going to release this, let it go, because a lot of peace of mind is coming in for you. Okay, and I do feel a lot of you need that time alone to really just re energize, rejuvenate, and just steer clear of the negative energy, whatever has been going on. All right. So I wish you all the best. And if you're interested in the Goddess and Angels reading, just go directly in the About Me section below and feel free to purchase one. Okay. So it'll be the exact same layout as this one. And you could get your own personal Goddess and Angel messages. So I wish you all the best, guys. Have a great year, and I'll see you in your monthly readings. Bye bye.